We're actually going to come to you. You don't have to leave this room. The only thing you have to do is, this is going to be breakout room number 1, and this is going to be breakout room number 2. So we'll work in here up until the break, and then if you were sitting here in the morning, you sit here in the back half of the morning, so in the second session. Have I explained that, or did I really mess it up? So before the break, you sit here. After the break, you sit there. So we need half the people to sit here so that we'll have a balanced group. Nobody wants to sit here. But, okay, Randy, I'm going to take this. I think you should take this as an endorsement. Everybody wants to be in your group. But I'm going to get you eventually, people. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Thanks, everybody. That's great. That's great. So now I have a question. We actually lost a few people yesterday because they represented specific industrial interests and or activities, or a collection of activities, and so they've left. So we have a smaller group, which is wonderful, in a sense that hopefully we'll be able to have more detailed discussions, and everybody will have a longer opportunity to speak. So that's wonderful. What I would like to do is to find out if there's anybody who has to leave before noon. You have to leave before noon? Oh, okay. And you're taking the morning flight? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if you need to leave before noon, we will be taking a break. So you're welcome to leave at the break, or you're welcome to leave whenever you need to leave. So please don't be shy. Meet your own needs. This morning's session is built on two key components of the SECOA. We're looking at community profiles and cultural values and interests. And we will split our time equally in both, and we'll have a bit of a wrap-up session at the end. After the wrap-up session at 12 o'clock, there were a few people who had approached me and or Neil with questions, and so there'll be a Q&A session at the table over here at noon, just because we want to make sure that all of the questions get addressed, and some people have detailed questions about the process going forward, but that's not the objective of this workshop. So we'll have a discussion over here if you want at 12 o'clock, but we need to move through the agenda today as it relates to the study and the study team. So I'd just like to give an opportunity to the people in the room to make any observations, just sort of one-word or two-word observations, things that perhaps occurred to them last night as they were reflecting on our discussions yesterday that had meaning for them. And if it had meaning for you as you reflected on it, if you had a great aha moment at dinner last night and you'd like to share it with the rest of the group, then we'd be more than happy to hear what you have to say. Lindsay?
Well, not so much about
you know what, Lindsay? We want to make sure that we capture this for posterity. So you're.
Maybe I don't.
Oh, okay. You don't want to? Okay.
Going back to last year's meeting in March in Vancouver, the question was asked on the floor about the possibility of having a community rep sit in on the steering committee. And I'd like to know. That's a year ago, March. So has there been any movement towards having community representation on that steering committee?
Well, it's important. I don't know. I wasn't there. And I think that's a great question for our table, because what I was looking for was aha moments or from the discussions yesterday. But I think that if we can bring that to the table at noon, I'd be happy to. Neil's going to be there. Somebody else had. Bob, you had wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just observed that the area that you picked in the south, you know, the dividing line for commercial fishing is Cape Caution. So all of the area that you've picked south of that for fishing encompasses all of the southern areas, which aren't here. So this is sort of considered to be, from what I heard yesterday, a northern initiative, but a big part of the planning process affects Area B, Area D, Area G, H, and peripherally Area E, because everything that you do in Johnson Straits affects Area E, which is the Fraser. So that component of the commercial industry isn't represented, and probably should be.
Yeah, and thanks for raising that. We're taping this. We're going to try and bring those people in. I interviewed several people before, but thanks for raising that. And if there are things through the course of today that you think of that, you know, are specific follow-up items for the study team that relate to who's not here, then please do voice them. So thanks for raising that. You had wanted to say something, I think. Am I putting words in your mouth?
No. Patrick Marshall with Small Business BC and from Campbell River. And when you said south, I thought you meant that south. You meant further south?
That fishing area from Cape Caution to Campbell River
Yeah.
is the allocated area for all the southern fishermen.
And the Pensima boundary kind of wanders through the Desolation Sound. It doesn't really, it's not a holistic kind of approach, but as I understand, boundaries are outside of our discussion today. My aha moment was that there were technical questions that were being asked during the course of the time that we'd allocated for participation. And if we do this again in the south, say in Port McNeill or Port Hardy, to intake information, we almost need like the 2 or 3 hours the night before so that people can ask technical questions on where the boundaries are, because we spend like 30 minutes talking about a boundary issue, and that's 30 minutes I'm not hearing what a certain community, you know, is really interested in.
Okay, thanks for that. Alrighty. So, as I mentioned, we're going to get straight to the agenda. This community profiles will be led by Randy over here, and cultural values and interests will be led by Steve, and I'll be wrapping up these sessions just before 10 o'clock, and we'll take a 15-minute break, and then if you were sitting over here for sort of in the back of the room for the first part of the morning, then after coffee, please come and sit over here, and vice versa. So if you were at this